I remember being a kid, a wee little lad. I used to love games for their gameplay, for the cool actions I could do in a game that I couldn't do in real life. Going against hordes of zombies with a gun to save someone, driving a Lamborghini at illegal speed, sometimes running from the cops in the process, going to war against gods in a brutal rage, collecting all the letters in Donkey Kong levels to say I did it, the pure joy of video games, just enjoying them for all their admirable traits and scoffing at or simply not playing games when they were less enjoyable. However, most of my early gaming years were spent playing Call of Duty and Battlefield. In the last 14 years, I'd say I've spent most of my free time gaming. 8 of those years were all about FPS games. I played the first Modern Warfare and never looked back. COD 4, not the gradually worsening new trilogy. Gameplay was king in these games, of course. But I think COD was the first instance of me playing a game mainly because of the grind, to unlock all the camos, to reach the highest prestige. Battlefield was actually better for me because it wasn't about the unlocks as much as it was trying to do good in a large battlefield. COD and Halo before were arena shooters that I loved. Chaotic gameplay to soothe my teenage ADD attention span. Battlefield was a game that I grew to love as I matured into adulthood. Being tactical, slower gameplay, more intelligence, skill, and strategy were needed. When I first started playing it, I couldn't get 2 kills without dying. I played it like Call of Duty. I had to learn the hard way to play with more intent. Thankfully, Call of Duty and Battlefield lost their greatness in my mind around Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Don't get me wrong, most games since have been great aside from a few misses. Battlefield 2042 and Call of Duty World War II come to mind, but they definitely weren't speaking to me like the games did before. I think it was mainly podcasts that I was starting to listen to that made me look elsewhere for my digital entertainment, those in YouTube. Hearing Colin Moriarty, Greg Miller, GamerRank, SpawnWave, and others talk about all these great games got me to broaden my horizons in gaming. When the Spider-Man trailer came out, it was a turning point for me. I got super excited for that game. I pre-ordered the special edition PS4 Pro as soon as it was announced. In the meantime, I started playing Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I had played the second and third games in high school, but only the multiplayer. My buddies and I used to go to this guy's house named Vincent and play it. This dude had all the systems. He had a PS3, a Wii, and an Xbox 360. He also had a flat screen. Most of my friends only had a PS2, though one of my bros had a 360, and we would play Halo 3 on it. I started to play Uncharted Drake's Fortune while I waited for Spider-Man to release. I remember I always had the urge to get trophies, but I never really tried. I didn't want it bad enough. Infamous Second Son, when the PS4 first released, was the first game I played where I paid attention to them. But I didn't want to get all of them because it seemed tedious to me, and that was the easy game to platinum. I know because I finally went back and got it 2 years ago. But Uncharted made me want to get its platinum. It wasn't too hard when I really tried, and it was actually fulfilling to me, surprisingly collecting all the treasures, getting a certain amount of kills with certain weapons. On March 17, 2017, I got my first ever platinum. Not only did I love earning the platinum, but I fell in love with what would become my favorite video game series in Uncharted. I instantly hopped into the second game, but life was lifing, and I didn't get the platinum until almost a year later. March 13th, 2018, I got my second platinum. After I got that platinum, I started playing a nice gaming PC that I had at the time with a GTX 1080 Ti in it. I worked a lot of overtime that year, and I didn't have much time for gaming. I worked 800 hours of overtime that year. But I do know that as much as I loved playing my PC for the stunning visuals, I couldn't get trophies, and that bothered me. I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey because I had a huge obsession with history growing up. The game looked amazing on my curved 144Hz monitor, but again, no trophies. Uplay or whatever the heck Ubisoft called it back then had achievements or something like that, but the whole client for PC was broken and it was very frustrating. On September 7th, 2018, I went to GameStop and picked up my Spider-Man PS4 Pro. It was such a beautiful console, and the game looked amazing on my 55-inch OLED TV. I was working OT and I had a girlfriend at the time, but when I wasn't at work or with her, I was playing that game. All I wanted to do was play that game. I got the platinum 17 days later, which wasn't bad for how busy my life was. That game's platinum was so natural to achieve because it was such a fun game that made you want to do everything in it, so I did. This is when my addiction really started. And now we finally reached the point of the video. I became addicted to platinums. But they are a double-edged sword, because I love that they make you thoroughly play through a game to observe everything a game has to offer, but it created 2 problems for me. The frustration of doing something over and over and over to get something right, the frustration of trying really hard to do something and being enraged at my inability. But when I was finally able to do it, it was very gratifying. However, many games have terrible trophies that are either frustratingly difficult, that seem almost impossible, or require online play. I hate, like most trophy hunters, being forced to play online, especially when they limit future potential access to a platinum. Many games I would love to platinum, like The Last of Us PS3 or Killzone games, are impossible to achieve practically, and that is very frustrating. The most annoying problem trophies have brought to my life is that if a game doesn't have trophies, I don't want to play it. And I don't mean trophies or achievements, I mean trophies. I want the platinum in every game I play, or I don't want to play it. This is a very annoyingly frustrating mental block for me. Trophies are not only a dopamine hit, but they are a OCD comfort. To complete a game truly and check all the boxes is highly fulfilling to me. I think one thing I realized about trophies is the negative aspect of it for me personally, the battle with my ego, to be able to pridefully say that I did it, for the world to see my achievement. But 95% of gamers could care less about this metagame. Still, I like to say I platinumed it when talking about a game with a friend. Enter the Steam Deck. This device was the first piece of hardware I became obsessed with and had to have since the PSP. I saved up on my Steam account a bit every time I got money until I had enough and it was my turn in the queue to order it. When I got it, I knew it wouldn't have trophies. Bummer. But I did start to emulate on it. There are so many games that don't have trophies, that never will, that I never played, that I needed to play as a gamer. Mostly Nintendo games, very few Xbox games. Emulating older games with no trophy support at first seemed like an annoyingly bittersweet task. I didn't want to, but I wanted to. But I did. I started playing and beating all the major NES titles, and then it hit me, the magic of video games. The beauty of a video game's world and game design I simply ignored with my urge to collect trophies. The Nintendo effect is what I call it. See, Nintendo is the only gaming company out of the big three that doesn't have a metagame. Xbox has achievements. I scoff at achievements, and I'm still mad to this day that there's no master achievement. Get it? Good ideas and lame jokes aside, I actually tried once to 100% achieve a game. I tried to 100% Banjo-Kazooie on Xbox One X. It was so hard to get some of these achievements. When I got to the end, the last achievement I needed, it required me to solve jigsaw puzzles while being timed. Now, my pet peeve in video games is being timed. I hate it with all my heart. This whole part of the video, I would be swearing like a sailor if it was not for me trying to achieve and maintain monetization. But I tried for a few hours and I couldn't do it, and it drove me insane. I deleted the game and sold that Xbox. I was so mad I wasted so much time getting all the achievements I did just to be mastered by the last achievement I needed. One day I will go back to it, and I'm sure of it. Anyways, excuse my tangent, back to the Nintendo effect. Nintendo doesn't have a metagame because they do not want to take away from the joy of their games with grinding for achievements. This is a good outlook and I appreciate it, though it is a bit nonsensical because collecting everything in any Nintendo game is equivalent and can be very frustrating. I get their point and I do appreciate it though. I have grown to appreciate games with no metagame involved and just enjoying it. And that is what I've done with the Nintendo games on the Steam Deck. I'm playing the original Donkey Kong Country on the SNES, Link's Awakening for the Switch, and Legends of Arceus on the Switch all at the same time. I play what calls to me. And I can say I do enjoy these games despite the lack of the metagame. I do appreciate the ability to take screenshots to save for my memories and to show I have thoroughly beat a game. My Google Home plays a slideshow of all my game screenshots and it sits on my desk. Still, I'm an addict and I crave the need to get trophies. I'm simply going back and playing games I've never played that are classics and important to the history of video games, and modern Nintendo games that don't have a metagame. But the only ROMs I have on my Steam Deck are games that I can't play on PlayStation and earn trophies for. Many Switch games I've had would be cool to have on the go at all times, but if it has a PlayStation version with trophies, then I don't even bother. Unfortunately, I live in this false reality where I can platinum every game in my backlog and the games that will come out in the future. If they stopped making games tomorrow, I would still have enough games to last me until I die. There is so much in this space worth playing, and the platinums to achieve elevate the replayability and the thoroughness at which I approach the game significantly. There are many great games that I'm excited for that I will never get to, unfortunately. This is part of the double-edged sword of platinum trophy hunting. If you are trying to 100% complete or get a platinum in every single game you play, it slows down the rate at which you can complete a game. It would be easy to go and beat every game that I want to play. Just beat the story, reach the credits. But unfortunately, I have this urge to get the platinum trophy. That slows down completing a game. In my ideal world, my trophy list is full of 100% completed games with platinums for every game. Though online trophies and the one kid who bought a Vita from me and was still logged into my account and played a few games and earned trophies on my account ruined that for me. I'm so neurotic about trophies, I've thought about getting the platinum for the games he played on my account, even though that would be a chore. One of them is actually a Killzone game where I cannot get the platinum because of the online trophies. So while I have been enjoying many games without trophies lately, I still have this inner urge to get trophies. The Steam Deck makes me appreciate games without them, but a lot of that has to do with the portability and the comfort of playing in bed and around the house. With the Portal about to release though, it's going to be tough to play games without trophies, or resisting that neurotic urge to get a platinum for every game that I play. So this is my plight, my need for platinums. A goal outside these games I play to show things that I've conquered and the completionist standard that I've set for myself with the games that I play. I know this bothers a lot of people. I also know most people do not care about the metagame, but to me there's a great joy of fulfillment watching my trophy rank go up and the platinum number continue to climb. This has ruined a lot of games for me. A lot of games I walk away from hating for a bit before I come back to my senses and realize the game was great. The platinum grind just annoyed the hell out of me. Tell me in the comments what is your favorite or hardest trophy you have earned. For me, it was in Battlefield 4. Stay blessed.